Heyo, what's up, everybody? This is Wos, and we have our Week 1, Season 6 matchup of the PWC versus the San Diego Sneasels and Storm. Once again, his YouTube channel will be down in the description below. Check it out. Um, if you haven't seen the team builder that went up yesterday or 2 days ago, depending upon when this is actually uploaded, go check it out. It goes over the sets I have, move spread, stuff like that, reasons why. So we're just going to get right into it here. As I said in the team, I figured 4 of the mons would come. I wasn't sure. I knew Charizard, Gliscor, Victini, Blastoise were coming, and I wasn't sure between Terrakion or Heracross which one of them was coming. And so I kind of prepped for that. And Exploud, I have one check for, and that's Celesteela. Um, I mean, it's the only thing that can really take a Specs Boom Burst. I luckily outspeed it with most of my team, though. But going into this, just to go over the sets I assumed he would be at this point. Obviously, Mega Charizard Y, so Fire Blaster, Flamethrower, Solar Beam, stuff like that. Gliscor, Protect on Toxic Orb, EQ, Stealth Rocker, Exploud, Specs, Victini. I really wasn't sure. I didn't think it was going to be a Scarf set, though. I kind of figured it'd be more of a special E-Belt or Life Orb set. I'm 95% sure it's Scarf Terrakion, just by looking at the team, because it's the only thing that can outspeed my Mega Aerodactyl at this point, and nothing else really is going to do a decent amount to it except for Victini. Like I said, I don't think he's going to be Scarfed. And then we also have Blastoise, who Rapid Spinner. Not sure what defensive, if he's physically or especially defensive, but figured to be one of those two. Obviously, he's going to be one of those two, but he's going to mainly be Rapid Spinner. Starting off, he has legitimately 4, 5 good leads at this point. He can either lead off with Zard and just get off massive amounts of damage immediately. He can lead off with Gliscor and get up his rock, or get up the rocks for him, and get up his toxic heal. Or Specs Boom Burst or Specs Exploud and just fire off Boom Burst. Or even Victini or Terrakion, if one of them Scarfed. He has 5 good leads at this point. I don't know what he's going out to. So I figured the safest one would be go out and lead off with Mew. I am Scarf, so I can see what it is. And it's actually the one mon I didn't think it was going to be, because this was the second longest it took me in this game because of one other turn. But yeah, I really had no clue what to lead off with. As you can see, I'm going to U-turn out. I figured he would stay in. It's actually a really smart play for him to lead off with Blastoise, because they will get rid of rocks immediately if I do try to set him up. So I'm just going to U-turn out. He doesn't know what kind of Mew I am at this point. I'm going to go into Electabuzz. Good choice there, and Toxics. At this point, he's not going to stay in. This is his way of getting rid of hazards, and I have 3 mons I can set up hazards decently easily. So I figured he's switching out to Gliscor 99% of the time. I'm just going to fire off a Life Orb, HP Ice, and bring it down to 88%. I'm like, shit, if that would have killed, that would have been amazing at that point. So at this point, I'm calculating it. I do take him out with a Psychic, and just in case he wants to switch out, I do go for that, because HP Ice won't really touch anything else. So I'm like, okay, I can go for a Psychic at this point. I know I can take it out. I can still take it out after the recovery he gets from it. So I'm like, cool. I'm going to get it off, take it out. Nope, he's going to get the double protect, actually. And at this point, I cannot take him out with a Psychic or any other move I have. And I'm going down to, I'm at like 30% on this Electabuzz. And I kind of need that thing healthy to take on Blastoise. So I'm going to switch out into Kyurem, aka the basic bitch. Figured he would stay in. He does not. He switches out into Blastoise, which is like a really good move, because if I would go for HPS, he's going to be able to eat it up pretty easily. I'm going to predict him to Toxic, though, because he did the exact same thing last time. So I'm going to switch out to Celesteela. Cool. I have no reason not to go for a Leech Seed. Nothing is immune to it on his team, so I really don't have to worry about, Gourgeist just absorbing him. I was like, cool, I can get off a little bit of recovery every turn. At this point, I figured he would switch out, so I kind of thought about double seeding, but I didn't. I just go for a Heavy Slam, just get off mass damage. I knew he was figuring whatever would come in. He goes into Victini. I fire off Heavy Slam. That does 29% on a crit, so okay, this thing is a little bit of bulk to it. And he's leftovers. I'm like, okay, I have no clue because I have no clue what it's gonna go for. I have no clue if it's special, if it's physical. If it's special, I can go out into cure him, take a hit, and I'll be fine, somewhat fine. If he's physical, I can switch out into Lando, and I'll be fine. I'm gonna protect. I have no clue what he's gonna go for, and an amazing prep moment for him. Just a prep play right there, and that's just setting up sub on a protect. I cannot touch this thing. I'm like, shit, maybe I can get a crit because I can't switch out to anything. Kiram can take 2 hits, but he can't take a third. He outspeeds me. So I'm like, shit. This absolutely sucks. Victini behind a sub is going to be awful, especially firing off blue flares. So, like I said, an amazing prep play from Storm allowed him to easily take down one of my bulkiest mons. Actually, the bulkiest mon. Now, like I said, I am AV, so I know I can take 2. Here's the thing. That burn kind of sucks for me because I get the boost off Ancient Power. Holy shit, this is amazing for a couple reasons. One, nothing can take more than 2 hits. Everything gets 2 hit KO'd on the scene, basically. Because I am modest max special attack at +1 at this point. And I outspeed everything on his team minus Scarfed Terrakion. So I'm looking really good. If I didn't get that burn, it would have basically been game over. Because I was at, 66%? He's going to switch out. He's going to keep Victini alive. Makes sense. I'm going to fire for Ancient Power, and I sadly don't get the second one. That would have been awesome and a very Joel play. I have no reason. Dragon Pulse is going to take it out. I know that. I don't have to go for Ice Beam and risk Blast Waste coming in. So Kyurem's going to get the 1 kill on Gliscor. I'm really getting dwindled down now due to that burn damage. So that's why it kind of sucks. He goes into Blast Waste. I can 2-hit KO him pretty easily with Dragon Pulse. And he's going to do nothing with a +1 bulk, +1 Spadef, bulky AV Kyurem. It's going to do absolutely nothing. So I can just fire for second Dragon Pulse. Awesome. Blast Waste is taken out. So now if I would be able to get up rocks, they're staying there forever. He's going to Terrakion. Like I said, this is the only thing, if it's Scarf, that cannot speed me at this point because I have that random 32 EV investment in speed. And he is. This is why I said the burn kind of sucked. He would have had to basically, I had like a 50-50 shot of living a close combat from a Scarf Terrakion or something like that. I remember calculating at +1 defense with the amount of HP investment I have. So if I wouldn't have got burned, I would have a chance to legitimately just win at this point. He takes me out, so I'm like, cool. I makes sense. He got the burn, I got the boosts. So I'm gonna switch it. I'm just gonna go right into Orlando T, and I'm just gonna U-turn. I could go for Stealth Rocks, but if he brings in Charizard on this turn, predicting that, I am pretty much fucked and I lose because it's gonna be very difficult for me to get back. So I'm just gonna U-turn. He goes in Exploud, makes sense. At this point, I'm gonna go into Mew. I know I outspeed him, and I know I can take 1, kind of. Like I said, I 2-hit KO him, which is fantastic, and he does 97%. So luckily I can outspeed him. Like I said, that was rough. If I would have been able to revenge kill him pretty easily, but still would not have had to deal with that. Here's the big play. I have 2 options. I can switch out and take a blue flare, whatever he wants to go for. Not well by any mons I have. I can sack off Electabuzz, something like that. But if I stay in and Psychic, because that's what I'm locked into, he can set up a sub. I figured he would not, though, on the fact that he is a smart enough player to know that he doesn't know I'm Scarfed at this point. So he's smart enough to know that if I'm not Scarfed or I'm not locked in, I could outspeed him and hit him with an Earthquake or a Earth Power or Shadow Ball, anything like that, and do massive amounts of damage to him, and pretty much almost lose Victini. So I'm staying in and Psychicking just in case he would switch on to like Terrakion. Like I said, 19%. He could have set up a sub, but he had to attack there just in case. He couldn't risk that. over prediction. So at this point, I can go into Aerodactyl, Outspeed, everything but the Terrakion. I'm just going to fire off. I have two options at this point. I can either attack with one of two moves, Stone Edge to hit this, and the Victini if it stayed in. Um, or I can go for Aqua Tail, which I do have, which hits every single thing for super effective damage. So I'm leaning more towards Aqua Tail, or I can set up a Hone's Claws and hope he doesn't switch out to this turn out into Terrakion and take me out. Instead, I do go for Aqua Tail. 90% over 80%. I have a better chance of hitting. And he switches in Charizard. Fantastic. I take him out if I hit, but I don't. Um, so that kind of sucks. But I do outspeed. I need to hit this. Thank God I hit that Stone Edge. That would have sucked if I would have missed two of those attacks in a row. He can go into Terrakion at this point. I'm just going to sack off Electabuzz. I doesn't do anything else. He gets outsped. Actually, he doesn't outspeed Victini, but I really can't do anything to it. And he gets, fucked up by this. Now I'm going to switch into Terrakion. I'm just going to fire off an Earthquake. I have no reason not to fire off an Earthquake. If he wants to switch in, cool. Switches in Victini, he dies. Now at this point, I make a dumb play. And I switch out into... Not dumb play at this point. I didn't know if it had some sort of HP Ice or whatever, some sort of special attacking move to hit the Lando. So I wanted to check for it. I switch out into Aerodactyl. He goes for Iron Head. I'm like, awesome. I know he's Scarfed. I know he's locked in. For some reason, I don't switch out back into Lando T, knowing I can take like 8 of them and just finish him off with an EQ and get the 2-0 victory. Instead, I stay in for some reason. Like I say, he does 13%. And I can just fire off an Earthquake and take it out very easily. So it was a good game by Storm. I should have been smarter late game and saved for differential and got the 2-0 victory. But yeah, it happens. Well, nothing you can do about it at this point. But yeah, it was a good game. Check him out. We'll be back week 2 next week sometime. So